Hey everyone, welcome back to Hadley's High Carb Kitchen. My name is Hadley and I started this channel in an effort to combat 1200 calorie diets, low calorie diets, low carb diets, and just calorie restriction overall. Today I wanted to talk about going out to eat because, well, I mean, this is kind of relevant. I just went out to eat with my mom and I got to thinking about why I don't like going out to eat, and also if you are choosing to go out to eat, how to go out to eat as a high carb, low fat, plant-based eater. Okay, so first of all, I will get into the reasons of why I do not like going out to eat. So the number one reason is typically cost. It's very expensive to go out to eat. It normally costs us anywhere from, I don't know, I'd say $70 to $100. So that's, that's a lot of money that we could be spending on groceries or anything else. That's probably like a week or half a week's worth of groceries anyways. So, that's a lot of money. So cost is a big one. And it's not typically worth it for me, and I'll talk about why I don't really think that it's worth it. So the number two reason, and this kind of gets into why I don't feel like it's worth it, is portion sizes. So typically I need quite a large portion in order to feel full and satisfied and keep up with my energy levels and all that kind of stuff. So when you go out to eat, you spend like $20 to $30 on a plate, and you typically don't get that much food compared to what I would be making at home. So yeah, just finding the amount of calories in order to be satisfied and feel full with just one plate is typically not good. I mean, something like if you can find like a buffet or something, that would be probably easier, but it's hard to find a buffet that's not super oily, which leads me into my third point, which is I don't like to go out to eat because they normally put a lot of oil on your food, and it's really, sometimes it's unavoidable. If you're in a situation where you just, you need something to eat and that's, kind of all that's available, then you kind of got to go with it. But typically, if I can avoid it, I don't like to consume oil, and not just for aesthetic reasons or blood sugar reasons or anything like that. Those are big ones, but a lot of the time it makes me feel really sick if I have too much oil. Like, it will physically make me throw up, make me ill, which I don't. Who wants that? You want to feel good and you want to feel energized after your meals. So, avoiding oil if possible is a big one for me. So those are really the top three reasons. So cost, portion sizes, and the amount of oil that they typically end up using in their food, and salt too. It's normally quite salty. That's not as big of a deal to me as the oil thing, but I still, salt can lead to bloating, or it can lead to water retention, or if you have a ton of it. Yeah. So now that we've talked about the reasons why I don't typically like to eat out, I want to talk about if you want to eat out, or if you're in the situation where you have to eat out, or you're traveling, or you just haven't prepared food, what is a good choice as a high carb, low fat vegan? Now, if you're not high carb, low fat, and you're just plant-based, there's tons of amazing vegan restaurants out there that have some really great options, and to me it's always a better option to have plant-based, just for the animals, the planet, that jazz. But if you are high carb, low fat, and you are wanting to eat out, my recommendations are, or where I typically go to, is like Asian restaurants, like sushi restaurants, Thai restaurants. I mentioned buffets before. If you can find something like that, like I used to go to a really good Indian buffet, though that tended to be a little bit oily. Pizza is always a good option. You could always get a low-fat pizza. You can call ahead to see if the dough has oil in it, and if it doesn't, then you can just get like all the veggies but be mindful because sometimes they saute the veggies also in oil, so you might want to ask about that. And I just get it without the cheese, no cheese at all, no vegan cheese, because that can tend to be quite oily. It's basically just made out of oils. I've always liked my pizza that way, just the sauce, the dough, the toppings. Yeah, I've just never been like, I was never a cheese person. I never like was super into dairy even when I ate that stuff, so it doesn't really bother me. And I just prefer it that way. I've always liked it that way ever since I went vegan. I was always getting my pizzas without any sort of like cheese or anything on them. Like occasionally I would make like a tofu ricotta at home, but like without oil. But if they offer something like that, I'm guaranteed it's going to have oil in it, so just best to avoid it. Another good option, like I mentioned, is sushi. Sushi is a really awesome choice. You can just get like a cucumber roll or an asparagus roll, or sometimes they have broccoli roll, but you know, or a sweet potato. But the thing about that is it's typically, you know, they're sometimes breaded in tempura, so you would want to ask about that if you're trying to keep it really low fat. You could also have like, you know, some avocado rolls if you really wanted to, but again, if you're trying to keep it like really low fat, I would advise just, you know, getting the cucumber rolls, the carrot rolls, any sort of veggie roll that's not deep fried is going to be a really good option. And just kind of load up. Like my husband and I, when we eat out like and have sushi, we probably get like 7 to 8 rolls between us, so you know, you just gotta get the carbs in for sure. And yeah, and so sushi and Indian and yeah, Thai is also a really good option. When I end up going out for Thai food though, I love to get the fresh spring rolls. That's always really good. And then I get like a veggie dish, with I normally ask the sauce on the side, and you can say that you just want like steamed vegetables with a sauce on the side if you really want to, so then you can kind of control how much oil or sauce that you're consuming. And I get the rice with it, steamed white rice, and I typically end up ordering like a couple of extra rices to go with it, like at least 2 to 4 extra rices depending on how hungry I am. Now you might get some weird looks because they kind of are like, is this just for you? But you know, it's fine, you gotta eat, you know, you gotta satisfy your hunger. You gotta make sure that you are eating enough carbohydrates to fuel your lifestyle. So it's fine. People are gonna judge you regardless of what you do, so you might as well be healthy about it, right? So yeah, so Thai food is a really awesome choice. That's probably like my number one. Sushi is my number 2, but I like make a pretty good sushi at home, so it's not as like special. I do like some of the sauces with Thai food, so yeah. And like I said, Indian is also a decent choice. Sometimes it's hard though, like those kind of restaurants, they tend to use a lot of oil, so you just kind of got to be mindful of that. Oh yeah, one more thing I wanted to mention, one more good place to eat out is actually, and this is going to be surprising to some I'm sure, but steakhouses are actually a really great place to go for high carb, low fat meals. Yeah, like you can get potatoes, steamed potatoes, you can get tons of veggies, rice. Yeah, that's also a good place to go. If you happen to be out with your family who's going to a steakhouse, you can totally just stock up on a bunch of potatoes and rice, veggies. It's all good, yeah. Yeah, so those are kind of like my tips on how I like to go out and eat as a high carb, low fat vegan, and why I don't often go out to eat, because, you know, the reasons that I listed before. Yeah, so if you have any comments or questions, or if you struggle to like find a place to go out to eat or go out to eat, yeah, just leave a comment below and we can chat about it. Okay, thanks guys. Bye!